Hi guys, I hope you're well. Welcome back to Football Frenzy, the channel that keeps you up to date with the latest football content. On this video, I am just going to have a look into Arsenal's fixture lists, which were released on Friday, and just give my opinion on them and whether I think they're favourable or not. Because, okay, the argument is that you play everyone twice during the season. It doesn't matter when you play them, but I think it does. I do think it does. I do think a fixture congestion, for example, can have a heavy impact on players' fatigue and performance levels as well. You've seen the likes of Saliba, Declan Rice come out recently and say how like they've been playing through injuries and minor niggles throughout the season, but they've had to endure that just because, just to help Arsenal get over the line essentially and get them to the Champions League final and win the Premier League as well. So I'll start off going through our start of the season. I do think the start of the season is a bit tricky. I don't think it's as hard as last season. I will say that last season was tough, wasn't it? We had United away, we had Leeds second Leeds, sorry, second game, home game of the season, and then we had Liverpool away, and then we had Manchester City away. I'm pretty sure later in September, and then Newcastle away. So it was a really tough start for the first six, but I feel like this one is tough, but it's not as tough as last season, of course. But what makes it even tougher in terms of this season, not thinking about last season, is the fact that obviously players, our best players, are not going to really be back yet. They're going to be quite fatigued. There's going to be key players missing as well. I do expect Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, William Saliba to not start the season. I do think those three, notably, as well as Gabriel as well, and depending on if Brazil get quite far, they won't start the season, and we probably won't see them until probably end of September. I'm going to say, I'd say probably end of September. To be fair, yeah. So, but we'll have a look into it. Coventry at home first is a nice tie. Respectfully to Coventry, I do expect us to beat them, but then from then on it gets quite tough. Aston Villa away. I remember we did play Aston Villa very early in the season, 2 seasons ago. Second game of the season as well, exactly the same time as the 24-25 season. We actually did beat them 2-0. They Trossard and Martinelli with the goals. But yeah, I would prefer it to have this fixture earlier in the season rather than December time, which is when we had it last season. We ended up losing that game. So yeah, I do think it's a tough start, but I would prefer it to have second game of the season. Then we got Chelsea at home, which is never an easy fixture. Okay, we do have a good record against them, but we always seem to just about win the game. I remember last season, Pedro Neto got sent off, and then we ended up winning 2-1. So it's a tricky tie, especially given that they'll probably most of their players will have more rest than us. Now, most of the key players, obviously Cole Palmer didn't go into the World Cup squad, neither did Joao Pedro. Caicedo's there, but the feeling is maybe Ecuador get knocked out in the last 32, so they'll probably get knocked out early. And yeah, they will have a lot of the key players fit, whereas us, we've got quite a few key players out. Then we've got Sunderland away, which is tricky. We conceded there in the last minute last season. We drew, and then Brighton away, which we just about won 1-0. That was a tricky fixture at the time, but we managed to get over the line. So it's a tricky start. Wouldn't say it's the hardest start in the world, but it's tricky given the context that a lot of our key players are going to be out due to World Cup fatigue. I do think if we had this start of the season and we didn't have the World Cup, I'd be very confident we could at least win probably like 4 to 5 games out of the six. But my expectation is, I think we win at least four of those, and maybe we drop points in 2 games. Can't really say which ones, but because it could be anyone in the Premier League, you could drop points to literally anyone, couldn't you? That's how the league is. So, but yeah, the start of the season is tricky, I'd say. And then later down the line, I think our October is, to be fair, October is quite favourable. We've got Leeds, Nottingham Forest away, Everton at home. Expect 3 wins there. Actually, but then we go to Anfield last day of October. We go to Anfield, which is obviously going to be a tough tie. We haven't won there for I think 12 years. I'm going to say 13 years. So that's going to be tough. Obviously, Iriola's first meeting against us. Played managing Liverpool as well. So I do think Liverpool are going to have a strong season. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but I'd rather play Liverpool at this time than at the start of the season. Start of the season, they'll be fired up, and obviously with Iriola being there, there's going to be a lot of high-level performances, I reckon. So I feel like the time the games come does actually suit us in a sense that we'll probably be 9 to 10 games down, and Liverpool then will probably be a bit more like Iriol will be more acclimatized, and the Liverpool fans will be easing him in a little bit. So yeah, I do think it's quite a decent time for us to play them. I wouldn't want to play them at the end of the season as well, because then Iriola's like kind of tactics and the way he wants to set up, the players will be used to it. So I think it's actually come at a decent time, to be fair, that game. And I do expect us to have more players available by then as well. Oh, November, for November time we've got Hull at home, Newcastle away, City at home. Wow, yeah, so that's pretty tough, to be fair. Should start the season, the month off quite comfortably, to be fair. I do expect us to beat Hull at the Emirates, and then Newcastle is tough. It's always tough away from home, and then City at home. Of course, we know all about City and the talent they've got, the squad they've got. Okay, Pep Guardiola ain't there, but they still are a very good team on the day, and it's going to be tough. And then we've got into December, Brentford away, Spurs away, so the first Northland derby of the season, Bournemouth at home, United at home. Wow. So yeah, those set of fixtures, that little running that we've got is actually quite tricky because yeah, there's a lot of teams there where I think, you know what, on any given day they could give us issues. Obviously, we've got the North London derby, the first of the season, which we've been very good at, to be fair, last few years. But it's a North London derby; anything can happen. Bournemouth at home, we lost last season as well, so that's going to be tricky. Brentford away as well is never easy. They're quite a physical team. They like the throw-ins. We drew there last season. And yeah, we got United as well, which we lost to last season as well. So it's just quite a few tough fixtures there, I'd say. And then later into December, we have Crystal Palace away, Fulham away, Ipswich at home, Brentford at home, Hull away. Wow, yeah. So that just before we get to Hull away, we actually don't leave London, to be fair, which is a huge advantage, especially around that time, given the amount of Champions League fixtures we'll probably have played by then as well. So that's a really good lift for the squad, I think. Then Hull away, then Newcastle at home. I think towards the end of December, January, we can really start to build some momentum. So after that pretty tough run we've got, and then we've got Newcastle at home after the whole game, and then City away. Well, we've got City away to end the month in January, which is tough. And then we've got Liverpool at home, wow, at the Emirates. So yeah, 2 consecutive weeks we've got City away and Liverpool at home. I guess the one advantage of that is there won't be any Champions League fixtures in midweek. Imagine if we had to play City at the Etihad, then go away to, for example, to like Paris to play PSG, and then play Liverpool at home. So at least I think the only salvage point I can take from that, it being at that particular time, is the fact that there won't be any Champions League games, hopefully no cup games in place. You never know if we get far to the Carabao Cup. Actually, I'm just thinking we could have like a Carabao Cup fixture, maybe an FA Cup fixture in between that. So, but I do think, given how tough the fixtures are, we'll probably end up playing an understrength team in any cup competitions, especially if we're going for the title as well, which I do expect us to do, by the way. So, just to get that out there. So then after Liverpool at home, we've got Ipswich away, Fulham at home, and then United away. So the February is looking pretty tough. I wouldn't say it's amazingly tough, but it's pretty tough because we've got Liverpool at the Emirates, and then we've got United away at Old Trafford, which is always tough. To be fair, we always seem when we're winning, we always seem to win by the one goal. We've only won like 1-0, I think, since the last 20 years there. So it's a tough fixture to win basically. And if you do win, it does help a lot with the confidence going forward. I mean, last season, Trossard, no, sorry, I'm thinking about the 23-24 season, but yeah, last season, Calafiori scoring that goal, it kind of set the tone for the rest of the season. It kind of showed us that we can go to these big away grounds and we can win, like we did against Newcastle, um, away from home. And that we done for most of the season. Like we defended really well, and ultimately we were able to get over the line and win the Premier League. So yeah, it kind of set the tone for the rest of the season, that win did. Then we've got Palace at home in March, Chelsea away. Wow, that's quite big. The fact that it's in March as well, if we're going for the title as well, that's going to be quite a tough game, especially if we're really close and if we're top of the league as well, which I do expect us to be fair. So yeah, just to get that out there. Sunderland at home. So yeah, our March is decent, to be fair, with the exception of Stamford Bridge. It's not too bad. And then we've got Coventry away to start off April, Aston Villa at home, which got bad memories of, to be fair. 23-24 season, that 2-0 loss, it was in April as well. That meant we lost the league. So, yeah, I don't fancy Unai Emery coming up against us in April time. So, rather have that fixture early in the season. But, yeah, you know what? Our April is pretty tricky, to be fair. Because, oh, okay, they're not amazing teams. They're not like the big six. Technically, Aston Villa weren't that part of the big six last season because they finished in the top six. But they're not your traditional top six teams that we've got, but they've got teams that kind of on any given day can trouble us. So we've got Aston Villa at home on April 17th, and then Bournemouth away, which two tricky games. I can't lie, two tricky games, but could be worse. To be fair, could be like going to Etihad and then going to Anfield in April. So it's not too bad in that sense. And then we've got the second Northland derby this season. Wow, we may imagine the season if we were to win the league against Tottenham. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? So yeah, but I just think it's a bit too early, to be fair. Unless we're like 20 points ahead of the second place team, yeah, it's going to be pretty tough to secure the league. But it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? I mean, the last time we did that was in 2004 in the Invincible season, so it'd be good. It'd be amazing to replicate that. And then we've got Leeds United away, which is a tough fixture, but we should win. We should win that. And then Nottingham Forest at home, Everton away, wow, which is tricky because City pretty much lost the league there last season, didn't they? At the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And then Brighton at home. So our last 10 games of the season are actually not too bad, with the exception of like Chelsea away, obviously the North London Derby as well. I'm always going to count North London Derby as a tough game, given that it's a derby, and then Leeds away as well, and Bournemouth away. There's a couple of tricky fixtures there, but we should, with the quality we have, get over the line in those games. So yeah, I think overall, my opinion on the fixtures, I do think there are some tricky runs. Like that run back in end of November, mid December is tricky, where we have Newcastle away, City at home, Brentford away, Spurs away, Bournemouth at home, and United at home. Those are like 6, 7 games which are quite tricky, to be fair. But if we can manage that run, we can get through that period with, so the total amount of points you can get is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So if we can get out of them 18 points that are available, if we can get to at least 12 points, then that would set us good for the rest of the season, especially towards the end of the season as well. So I don't think the fixture list is that bad, to be fair. I don't think there's any like really significant run-ins where I'm thinking, whoa, like bloody yeah, this is really hard. So it's just that one tricky run that I think. So I think this fixture list has actually worked out quite decent, to be fair. And start of the season is going to set a lot for the rest of the season. I think it's going to set the tone because we're going to have key players missing. It's important that we get the players in. I think we need Barcola. We definitely do need a world-class left winger. Morgan Rogers seems to be a certainty to come in, so Morgan Rogers, I'm going to include him anyway, even though I feel like we may. He has a lot of quality, but I'm not sure if we completely need him. But he's going to come in, so Morgan Rogers, Barcola, Krupi, Fresneda, Lacroix, and then Boadi as well. If we get those signings in, that'll be a very good summer, and I do think we're in a strong position to defend the league and maybe even win the Champions League as well. This is the thing, it's not a certainty we'll get into Champions League final again. It was 20 years since we got into the last one, to be fair, but we are one of the strongest teams in Europe. Nobody can deny that. We're Premier League winners. We're champions of England. So yeah, hopefully we can go from strength to strength this summer. And yeah, my overall opinion on the fixture list is it's a decent running, to be fair, and there's no reason why we can't go out and win the league again. Why we can't be defending champions and defend our title essentially next season, in the 26-27 season. But thank you for tuning in, guys. Please stay tuned for more content, and I wish you all a blessed summer. Thank you.